Yeah, I had too many updates today, and I wanted to game tonight. It turned into boo hoo. My emotions should add up to regret on what I am accomplished and not fulfillness of who I am as an individual, as everyone else. I made it a video, but then I chopped it off and drafted it. And it had to do with how I disciplined myself through everyone else's mistakes so I didn't become the bigger mistake. I think that's how I worded it. I just realized I'm cutting off half the caption, or a quarter of it, or whatever. So, should I show the workout or continue mumbling and grumbling about what's going on today? I did 5 miles on my lunch break of running. And I also followed up with, before going into work, running. But honestly, I didn't run on the side of the road where my main road is, because I seen some weird looking fertilizer truck. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go run around the township where I go to work at instead of running in my air. So obviously, I always wear headphones and have it set it to where I only can hear the squeaking of people's vehicles, brakes, and people grumbling at me about what I should be for their standards. And obviously, because I get that, because I turned myself into a public figure. Ha ha! Public figure doesn't always get positivity. Yeah, like girls crying about being catcalled versus guys being upset that other guys jog on their lunch breaks or going into work in the town areas. And I noticed a lot of people screaming because I don't fit their standard. So obviously, I don't have people cat calling me, but this is how I discipline myself. Because the reason why I'm bringing up discipline and what's going to happen in the future is the government is going to possibly push out more and more every day that you are violent because you play video games, desensitized because you watch the news or scroll through social media like a doom scrolling, or watch a movie that fits your narrative that makes you aggressive and violent. This is a funny thing, because everything I believe I had in it would be a monster and a child growing up around a monster. Okay? So let's go to that little video of proof that you made a faced monster in your life. So when I clicked the wrong one, I clicked the wrong one. And listen to people say something about these markings. Okay? These markings. On your hands, does it mean... Wait. It's not showing my mouse now. But yeah, those little markings, M stands for Matrix, Master, Much you can switch it up. You can flip it upside down. It could be like womb, or it'd be like so Majin monster master from the womb. You know, kind of like Dark Souls theme, because you know no one believes in certain things that happen in life. So that's another reason why I had to cut it short, even a short clip, because I was saying, hey, there's a cartoon DBZ Z, and then Majin is a boy. You know, and it's funny. He kind of almost has my hairdo. There's another guy who wears a red cape and goes into like China City and just destroys it, or he's a boy also. But so the reason why they're censoring us because they start as a kid understanding he's a monster. Basically, the kid doesn't overcome this monster, and this monster takes over them. So they censored that for people that are adults now that already grew up with that stuff. So it's being censored, and it's plus it's directed towards targeting individuals or something. No. But you know, this is how I handled my day because I didn't have internet. I didn't have access to TV because I had a big family in a household. And anytime I used the TV, people fought over the remote. So I hiked outdoors. Anytime I got up in the morning, there's milk gone in the refrigerator because one of the kids didn't like the food the parents made, so they ate up the cereal. And I woke up in the morning to have cereal or milk, and I just ended up having to take a hike outside. And then even when I got old enough to do my own thing, like 16 through 18, I hiked with a fishing pole. No shoes, because it costed me too much. To bother my parents about going to the store between trying to get a license. Now I started slowly by 19, I'd say I'd start buying my own stuff. But like 14, 13, I had to get worn hiking everywhere with my shoes. I destroyed them. I had to be reminded they're not going to buy things in real time. And this happened at like age 16. Like they lectured me around the house. It was like, hey, what are you doing sitting around the house all day long? And I think I had to do the financial stress of other family members that were older than me going to college. And they had to lend money because the older individuals could not afford the college. So not only they had to maintain upkeep through taking a hike on watching the TV in the household. What I wasn't allowed to choose what was on the TV in like half the time. It would be like, you got 30 minutes, kid. You got 30 minutes, kid. And you got 30-minute kids. And so if my TV show would fall too much on their schedule, I started just taking a hike. And then I started taking a hike when food would run short in the house until I got a job and bought food until I got bad side effects from the food I picked. Like sugars, high processed sugars, heavy, blah, 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 blah. So when I started picking habits up of like disciplining myself off someone else's mistake and me not being above the average tall. Let's see. What else? When I was hiking to work, 8 miles, I'd get a bicycle hike, and then sometimes my mom would come around, hey, it's raining. Here's the vehicle since you're so responsible. And I already paid for the insurance on the vehicle, so she stopped disciplining me off of it and letting me use it. Now here's a trick I was gonna try to use that vehicle I was driving on occasion to go to work, but then my brother, who's a minor, when I'm a young adult, after dealing with sisters, financially putting a choke on my parents about loaning out money for her living so she could get fast food, and my brother is now asking me to go out on dates for his girlfriends at a minor age when I'd get lectures off that. So after I grew girls touching me at a minor age, taking a hike, me working out with sporting events to use energy instead of being angry all the time, taking a hike when there's no food in the house for my brother, and then taking a hike when let's see, I raised my nephew, so I helped one of my older sisters out watching the kids, and I would be grouchy. So instead of being grouchy around my nephew when it's my time off, I would take a hike over 13 miles when we're out and go to the gym or something. I had a gym fee. So to make it less sound dramatic, I'd hike 13 miles to the gym. So I extended my mileage when I was younger, going into an older phase. So I kept on extending my mileage. And when I became like in between full time, I think that's where we went back. Yeah, still updating. See, still updating. So when I came back to the growing up full time, I started running slower because I used to do a lot of training sports. So yeah, I disciplined myself off of other people's wrongdoings and how they emotionally affected me. So I also played video games constantly in the summertime, and then get drilled by my grandpa and get up early morning out of bed to go hike a hill and pick up lumber. This is probably starting at age 15 into 16 or something. And when between when I started working more. Yeah, I don't like how this mic's like. Was it really doing that? It's really catching that much light. So I took a hike constantly, or got disciplined in like on a concept of like an old grandpa that was not liked by no one, and he's seen the same effect I had, but people seen from a different perspective. So I grew up dealing with not being liked. So I remember where we really started the hiking factor. Oh, look, there's people that start things in a bus. I will hike the side of the road going into work from school since I'm a young adult out of high school. So that shouldn't affect me hiking to work, especially I'm turning like 18 or 19. I failed one grade and got back up to the other grade. And didn't give on a grade school criteria because there was some important classes like my business, and computer science where I barely budged B and a C, but I still want to learn as I go and still went to the library with my learning deficits. Yeah. So when I dealt with that deficit, I try to improve on strength or creativity because I think I would always look at something positive with my family member when I'd come home, but there were certain vulnerabilities to where people were like needing, like house renovated by the parents, and then a sister needs to move to college. Then I get to sit around with their friends and have a characteristic around their friends. So that's where I start molding and melting my quality, or hanging out with the young brother around a bunch of girls who are telling me I don't fit their standards. So that is what got me to hike, work out, and stay ecstatic instead of like worrying about my feelings. Now, these are not always my paces. Sometimes I have even slower days. I think I had 1 5 minute last year. I trained my body to hit a 5 minute, but I did a bunch of 8s and 7s. But now I feel like if I hit a 5 minute, I'm gonna hit like 2 3 5 minutes, and maybe 2 or 3 5 minutes, or maybe 3 7 minutes, because I'm recuperating, rehabilitating from everything I've had in the past. I mean, it's slowly going away, but I feel like somebody wants to break it and then claim I'm the problem for their own social stability. So, because when I go and say, "Hey, I had a hard time growing up to my parents, and it was because this and that," they didn't see that from how many times. Because say my dad had a dream job was to be overseas, ha 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 ha, yeah, because he had to take cold showers overseas, have 14-hour days. Yeah, that was a dream job. But coming back and seeing everything from his point of view and listening only to my mom's point of view. So, because my mom would sleep in the morning and I looked at food missing in the fridge, I took a hike. And then I got lecture age 16 about where's your financial stability in this household, you young adult. What you gonna do with your life? Well, obviously, when I get picked on my looks, I focus on another video game character or something. I didn't focus on the reality of it. The violent video games I played that were shooters were mostly Monster vs. Man. Same concept with the Manjin symbols, the Matrix symbols on the hands. So people like to teach people to treat power as a threat, and then other people don't trust them, so they never listen to each other equally. They always hear from the different perspective. They always hear point A and point B. There's no in between 1, 2, or 3, point A, point B. There's always people you gotta split up each other based on their opinions. So people just say, "Well, this is just hysterical." Well, I've also learned words to buy clothes have put toxins on you. They want us to switch over to eating bugs. They want us to, obviously they already have everything shut down. So if I get up at 3 a.m. in the morning like I used to take a hike, that's what I do. Like on my day off, when I was with my nephew, and he's a little infant child, and my sister's home, I took hikes so she couldn't go on any dating frenzies. Because that's what both my sisters did. They went on dating frenzies. And, like, one sister left me with the dogs. I want a dog, and left it with them. You know what happened one day? I snapped my finger, the dog sat next to me, and just stared at my sister going out the door for her boyfriend. Because my sister wanted to say she misses the dog, but she wanted to go out on a different way, different guy. At least I didn't have to cater her, like chaperone her around. I had to only do it to my younger brother. My younger sister helped out with this stuff a lot more than the golden brother or the eldest sisters. The critiqued niches in between the family. Yeah, so one day I snapped my finger and a dog sat next to me. Here's the problem. That dog passed away because I was the only one that trained to tame it. The dog used to like to go run around with me. The thing is, it liked to go after vehicles that wasn't on the road, and one day my older sister hit the dog because it ran out underneath the vehicle, and she rolled her wheel over or something. She was spinning out around the road or something, whatever. So I grew up disciplining myself, not being violent just because I play video games. I played violent video games when I was unworthy of my image, unworthy of my needs, of like, oh, there's food in the fridge, it's gone. I pretty much fasted temptation. But yeah, today's society doesn't realize when a violent person creates something, a governing system is funding it. They're not funding unarmed people to defend themselves. They're funding people right now who just targeted someone over opinion, and they're supposed to be on the side who says to protect everyone through kindness and not hate, but we're on the hate side now. All of a sudden, even though I spent most of my life unarming my emotions, unarming. So unarming my emotions, unarming my stomach needs. So I learned to build muscle without eating and energy with this maybe drinking water. So I probably did 18-hour fasting some days because I remember my dad was an early bird, my grandpa's an early bird most time. I had 16-hour days. I remember times when I got a school lunch and I go to a racing rally event for my dad, so to hype my dad up for the day. It is all about testing who can exhaust each other in a household. That was my dad's experience. Who could tire each other out who first, and then complain about the person being the most tired. That was a great experience I had with my dad. But otherwise, no one sees that an unarmed myself continuously. Yeah, the government is deleting unarmed citizenship through someone else's sin. That is the issue we're dealing with today. It's like when he's got these people on the internet praising that they're endangered. Someone else is endangered. Like through a natural disaster, like a forest fire, or a flood. But then they all go to the same conventional building. If I could say, I'd word that more aggressively than whatever conventional building you go to. That's how the government is going to think today. And that's how people are governing you. Homestead governments are going to start homestead governing you. I even noticed people swear upon their breath on this is that, oh, we're not going after you for being different looking to someone else. But I have noticed, I watched this one movie. I read things to go a little at a time. I don't try to read everything all at once. So that way I'm anticipating that reading I'm doing. Like the Leonardo DiCaprio movie, where he's a half native, and he pretty much gets dragged in between another native group that goes in there to silently attack the other people for having communions with other people around the world, basically having other opinions. They silently attack them, and say the other guy, Leonardo DiCaprio, is hardly 0.5%, so he's not worthy to them. So he's dealing with people that are really dominant the more they split up between his faction fighting event. And I get told I'm not a fraction of 0.00000.1 from this economy because I was never raised from the same exact bloodline of families. I'm not a part of those mixed cultures. Uh, so I'm just a skinwalker to them for having this complex. I'm not an actual person that had a family tree cover half half a state township and then be related to me in multiple states, but yet somehow I have my sister telling me how little I am in a blood relation because of my eye color or the way my hair grows. So mind you, bloodline, family tree, and same family tree through me being adopted to them because I was adopted and called people my sister, my brother. I was adopted to be the middle child. So I've been desensitized by people opinionated over me, and I work out harder than them, and they question why I am putting so much in myself. Because one day you just pass away, and that's all you earn out of it. Blah blah blah. You know, the monster lynch from uh I just went okay. So from Jake and Finn, Adventure Time. Yeah, it's become a decorative decay to the earth. You're supposed to die so many times for trying to improve yourself. You're not supposed to live, because that's what the other people believe back in their time, and you're not indigenous to that. But yeah, I have the most unique ordinance of symbols on my body. Like I have those that yeah, the little bug eye from injuries actually, because like some people go for the bug eye there. I had that from my head being smashed in a contact sport. So the only time I learned to brawl or spar someone, not out of anger or hate, but out of discipline for a sporting community. So genetically, they claim I'm from another country, even though I lived here. And even though I've done more things than everyone's done, this is not going to be relevant because, like I said, they're trying to unarm people and try to rely on homestead governments who say you look like something, and so that makes you a threat. You're not. You're only 0.0.1 of a human ancestry. So you're not human to those people that are talking to you. So remember, that's a very dangerous word people are wording these days. People are wording in a very dangerous manner. And I feel that's interesting because I went out of the way with my rivalries who never liked me. None of these sporting events were funded to me. They were all charitable. This is charity service. I have never been paid money back for my clothing I pay for when I go to work to pay for my clothing to these sport events. I've never been tipped. So say I want to put down a down payment on a parent's household after doing your yard work, paying for the gas can, and paying time hour on end because I live in a rural area where if you pay someone to do your work, it costs more than you're living, or it costs you have to pay out multiple people. So unless you're multi-millionaire or you live in a rural area, you're either fending for yourself or you're getting help from other family members maintaining updating renovations, keeping everything financially fixed. That cost me most of my life and plus work. So I spent a lot of time with my family lifting myself underneath a tree, a dream race car vehicle, or even or even. So I feel like I've been praised by this. One time I jumped underneath a bunch of sheetrock and picked it off the ground when I was still 12 years old. I got praised by that. So I'm aware I'm being praised or thanked or forgived. I should not worry about being idol of anything being worshipped. I should just be like, hey, I'm this big. I don't know. I can't explain anything anymore. So I stumbled myself on that one because it's not scripted. I was also moving my eyes a lot because reading what was going on today. Yeah, because if violent events occur, they're going to compare movie watchers, video gamers, social media scrollers, ultra-violent people because we're unarmed people. They're not going after the armed person. I was unarming myself through discipline, fasting myself through discipline. Before I could even understand, even when I went to a conventional building to be part of groups, and then if I say certain types of conventional buildings, that'd be mean I'm targeting it or helping someone have an idea who to target. So that's why I do not say what convention it is, but I have disciplined myself through sports, school, hiking, staying in shape. Today's the day where we lose that image because the person who committed harm one day before, the next day after, or yesterday, today, they don't think about the people who were the least liked they were around. They will realize they're not protecting that person for their violent actions. Their violent actions. They are not protecting anyone for violent actions, especially when going after someone who's unarmed with an opinion to invoke more people idea. This is where people are dangerous on how they think. They want to see unarmed people unarm more because more zealous, enriched people armed make up all our images. So this is a very sad day again, and sorrow fills the woes. We're never gonna make up for someone passing on. We only can make up to appreciating who's around us, right? And people see I have things around me. I'm not minimalist, and that's that made me an idea of people. If I'm not minimalizing myself, obviously I have no friends. So me running in the morning instead of playing video games in the morning, or doing a chore going into the morning routine, doing an errand for someone. None of that is going to be relevant anymore in the future because we are trying to keep a one image going. And people be like, "Oh, that's a mounted board up on the roof. That's just a symbol of greed and a bunch of stuff cluttered in your room." That was made by me at a high school. Okay, I got this for being capable making it, and I got something else. Okay, I gotta say it now. It's got America's Heart Association on it, funding doctors to find ways to prevent people from passing from a dying heart. I put money into that just to be cared to a violent video game player or something. or a TV watcher or cell phones, doom scroller. I put money to children's health, schooling. Through this one, I'm going to show you in the next room. I put money into children's schooling, rivalries to compete against me. To have to learn, they have to compete against me and grow beyond me to be capable of accomplishing something. If they're trying to do a PR with competing against someone, I'm gonna be there to rival them every day. I'm not there to arm myself. I just want to create a rivalry because that's human's instinct. Is I should find ways to have freedom of expression. So yeah, America's Heart Association, cancer awareness. I've done relay for wildlife walk for 24 hours, and I said this repeatedly in this video and other videos. I've never been paid a single cent because I don't send links, so I bait those kind of people on my channel. Because I'm not the Mr. Pageant for the year or Mr. or this or that. I think I've been praised for this in the household. Even his sister brothers don't recognize for that. That's my thing. That's what I said. I'm not recognized for that because my brothers and sister go to schools to learn about how to think amongst groups, like the sheep running in fires, because they'll just follow the first person and then it won't stop because they're too blind from running in the fire. They can't see who's in front of me, so automatically soon the other person in front of them is still running in the fire until they burn, yeah. Burnt out. Cooked. They'll do that. Like, one wants to escape, the dominant escaping, they'll run into a open flame versus being with a tamer. But yeah, I'll go to this other room, show you all these medals I got. Have been praised based on it. So I believe I got praised over this because I definitely got thanked for this. Okay, I'm gonna go to the other room. Now, you see that, correct? That means somebody recognized me for something, even if someone else won't. Now, this is a problem. Like I said, the government has holdover measurement. They claim they're recording you, even you're not told you're being watched. Even you click on things that agree to being recorded, so they can study data about you. You know, the first time I did one of those sporting events, it was during, say, medium difficulty, because I could wear shorts in it still. And I didn't buy anything, okay? I don't think I bought shoes. And I had t-shirts from high school, old school sports shirts, and gym clothes. I took these marathons, and I put money down on them and invested in them. And they had when you go to the bus to go to the event, I woke up 3 hours earlier before the event to be the first one standing there. Most people would be like, I want to be the first one standing there for a video game or a release of a movie or a book or a Black Friday sale, Gray Thanksgivings or whatever's. I did those events, put some money down. There's no longer cheap stuff there. There's now big tents, heated tents they can pull out so everyone can walk in and warm up. I stood out 3 hours straight in freezing slush rains several times at the event every year. And now, anytime I go there, there's rain. There's no rain sometimes. It's sunny. It's got a bit of a morning frosty chill. So that's why I say it's a medium difficulty. People can do these sporting events now. There won't be cheap tents based on how much I have money invested into it. So I invested into something that's going to be thrown away by the government, saying I play video games or watch movies, cartoons, anime. They're not going to go. And this is where I think I'm probably helping someone exaggerate this. Is when you go to like say you buy a computer, but this other person the same computer as you, theirs locks out. They put cheats on it. They don't put their ID on there. They let their kids play it so they can play violent video games, and it locks out. I think that's where that's going, and they're trying to. Those kind of people are trying to get the same side as them, same side as them. And it's the same with like when I go on the internet to live stream and get a video game. I'm aware I do not own the gaming servers. I'm not there to be the winner all the time. I'm not there to be the cyber police to see if someone's cheating all the time. So I might say some snippy, mumbly, grumble, rant, and then move on to the next game. It just to build my character, whatever character is. But I do not get to be recognized as from the governing branches or some homestead governing system building up that's going to replace my image where I invested my money into it. I marketed my money into these events just so they can compare to me to everyone that's evil and vile in the world. And if I word things out of mistakes, I shouldn't have to say apologetic answers to those mistakes because just someone else reads it in the wrong manner. It's like if you make people stand in line to drink out of a teaspoonful of water until someone drowns, and you say, "Oh, it's illegal for anyone to drink out of a teaspoon of water now because that one person drowned." That's just what society's turned into. It's not a funny joke. I remember. Yeah, this is just burn him out because just saying turn off the video and get it over with, you clown. You're not supposed to be a comic character on here. You're not allowed to have your own opinions. You're not allowed to have your own job experience. You don't need to be living that life. You need to be living your parents. I wake up in the morning to my days off, catering to one of my parents, and it's not daylight out. And then I jump on a live stream with what little energy I have. And then I go back to this work and then jump on to live stream. A video game, just show and tell, share with everyone, whatever they want to view, in whatever time. I don't expect everyone to jump on and favor me like I'm some celebrity that's trying to be more important than everyone else out there that's already got their outlet going. So this is what drives me crazy about this whole scenario is we're gonna move into what 2027 and rules that were offered to us are gonna be taken away. They're gonna be replaced with regulation. And it's already happened where I've complied with regulation through censorship. I mean, like, oh, they deleted my cartoon character where the boy is a minor and fights monsters naked or something. And it was Dragon Ball, the saga. And it's every boy. And then they have that Chinese censorship. So, the dumb part about no one believes in your childhood, then no one believes in your golden rules. So, like, everyone's a child under someone's eye hunch. But yeah, like, I'm gonna avoid, not gonna bring in that area so someone can target it. But yeah, we're gonna have people in the future targeting it. So yeah, I noticed that everyone was screaming at me on the side of the road when I heard about someone passing away constantly. First of all, none of these people were walking me on the side of the road when I was hurting from what they would say to me on the bus, or people would touch me with my guard down on my minor. Minor. No one would, it would turn into, just because I was a boy, I'm only on the wrong. I was only wrong because I was a boy. And I'll eventually become a guy and still be the same guy. No one believes in that childhood, so no one believed that and grew and rule with me. I had to work on my own grinding set rules to defeat everyone not supporting me. The golden rule. So that's the thing is they say treat everyone else with kindness or they want to treat you, but like I don't know how many times some of these networks on here try to report you because the kids were trying to report you on a platform and trying to get you banned because you got a viewership count. And they can do it on all these networks. But now that person's being banned through, they don't even follow regulations. They use a spoofer account, a Smurf account, they use a bot account, and then they try to go in there into one of the channels and claim I'm into bots. I'm into bots. But I'm not. Because I waited for like a week when they started saying they're going to remove bots to come back on and be like, ta-da, I have no bots and I don't care about half those people that, because they didn't follow regulations like showing if they are actually an adult on a computer. I realized they're trying to turn me into a daycare center. Now, I believe there's still kid mode if I'm behaving and they're behaving. They can turn on kid mode and see me without talking to me through kid mode, like not a lot of text to me or something. Even though I put on adult settings, mostly adult settings. I put on like the 18. They don't have to really be 18, but it's more directly towards adults. And teen and adults, I was treated as an adult at 16, but I was not around to, like says, around to discipline myself through every wrongdoing that's done to me. So this is what drives me bonkers, because we are not gonna fix everything by talking. I remember walking to my bank because my bank card will lock out, and it's buying video games that's on the go on the road in other states. So I'd go to my bank and be like, hey, the credit card policies are different from the banking policies. Can there be any way where the card company will contact me and tell me where they're locking out my card? And let me decide when to lock out my card? Have a lockout file? And they did it for me, so I definitely did cower from that when it happened. But like people that are on the internet trying to get a strife going, through them living in a shadow realm, a shadow cow realm. They don't want to have to show their face on the internet. They don't want to have to show their ID through the ID track systems. Their computer, their technology, their TV's gonna lock out every day because they might be the same people chanting what went down between this week to last week. They don't care about my health. They care about governing and everything. And I hope you were cared for. And I appreciate everyone stopped by. And you know where to look for me on Mondays, Tuesdays, if you like my content. Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Have a good one, everyone. Appreciate it. Like, there's a subscribe button, and you don't have to be in here all the time. Cause I just appreciate the time given to me, and I hope you get the best out there in the world. Each and every individual who stops by and supports any of my content. Thank you.